Jake from State Farm. Actually, it's me. I turned some lights on here so we can get to work on this here 5.7. Hold on. This one here so you could see me. I don't look like a ghost. Huh? Better? Yeah, lighting. Okay. PPE today is because I'm on my carpet. I got tools. I got all my other stuff. Let me unplug this thing. So carbs are off. Tools are ready to go. New intake, gaskets, all that fun stuff. Lights. This thing's out of here. That intake's off anyway. It's time. I saw something I need to get out of here though. I cleaned up most of the stuff in this car, most of the trash. Everything I cut off except for that piece of metal. Okay, time to get this, let's get this blower off. And I'll put it over here on this table. But let's get this loosened up. All right, gotta loosen that up. I don't know that I like this position for you guys. You guys can't really see everything. Maybe I'll move you. Hey everyone. The blower is off, obviously. And the reason why this towel is up here is I had it folded up. And what happened was, on my nice little toy here, I mistakenly hit the off button thinking that I had recorded it. And you missed me taking the rest of the bolts off and lifting the blower up and setting it over here where it is right here. Pretend with me. I'm going to pick up the blower and pretend that I'm moving it from here over to here. So we'll do it from over here. We'll set it right here. And you can watch me lift it from here. Okay. I'll put it back and back. Watch. This is what it looked like. No belt. None of this. Pull up my pants because it's heavy. Was this from here? Hi, this is fun. Everybody should do this. Everybody needs a blower. To that. And then I put this belt on because it looked kind of cool. That's it. That's what you missed. And then I said, I needed to clean this intake manifold, which is now up there, if you can see it. Bam, right there. Yep, that's it. Yep, carbs, valve covers, brake line, stuff. Anyway, I'll piece this in so you guys can see that. Sorry about that. That's twice. That's the second time. The first time putting it on and the second time. So I'll make sure when I put this on, when I get the aluminum studs and they get here, I'll video it and make sure I'll have my wife video it so it's guaranteed that you can see me struggle sitting this sucker on there. Yeah, it's not really that much of a struggle, but I mean, these aren't that light, but they're, it's worth it. It's totally worth it. Superchargers are worth it. Everybody needs one. See you guys later. I'm going to take the valve covers off I'm going to pull the rocker arms up, make sure the valves are fully closed, and I know the piston's coming up. I'm going to check my timing mark and make sure that when I take the distributor off, that I'm at number 1. This is number 1 that the rotor's pointing. So when I mark it and put the distributor back in, it'll be right back where it was timing wise. But yeah, that's going to happen. This ought to be a good time. Let's watch this rotor go around, huh? Let's put this. I got enough room to throw the cap in the back there. Pull it off the coil. Slide it back there. All set. Let me pull the distributor wire off. Get this nut loose. This old Excel dual point. Sure worked good. Thanks, George. Okay, coil wire off. Distributor is ready to go. Loosen that, lose this. All right, here we go. Valve covers off. Okay. That valve covers off. Get this valve cover off. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. So that's the valve cover bolt. All right. Nice. Those cork gaskets and the grillless knot. See that perfect little outline? These things are never going to leak. It's awesome. I gotta see what this looks like. Oh, with the huffer. Oh, ooh, ooh. All right. Keep focused. Stay focused. Focus, Daniel-san. Focus. Okay, let's spin this thing. How far away are we from them? We're pretty close on this mark. I think it needs to go around just a tad bit more. For this rotor, it's going to line up right here with this stud, because that's number 1 on the cap. So I'm going to give it just a hair more. I got a 5/8 extension. I'm going to go down here and turn the crank bolt until this thing lines up. Well, if my timing marks are right, we're at about 18 degrees before. We're right there. It's like 6 degrees before, 8 degrees before. I'll be fine with that. Okay. This is an Allen, that's an Allen. The back ones are all standard. Distributor. So I need to pull next. Where's my Sharpie? So I'm going to mark where this rotor is. And the rotor is aiming right at that stud, which the other intake's exactly the same. So I'm going to loosen this up, pull this out. Wow, that was not very tight. There we go. Parts box. Distributor out. Now, I always do this when it comes out. I know where to set it. So when I drop it in, it goes back where it was. You guys see that? So I have a mark, my thicker mark. So if I spin this thing around, I can always put it right back there, drop it in. Does that make sense? Because when it goes in, it rotates, it drops in like this with the gear. So if I put it right back there, when I drop it in, she'll go right there. Thicker mark is always where I put this one, and that's where it aims. Okay, that distributor, that's an old Excel dual point, like old, like me, like old. All right, so I need an Allen, 9/16. These are all the rest. On that one back there's an Allen, that's an Allen. Okay, so I got to figure out what size Allen that is. I think it's a 3/8. I think. Wobbly. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take this off right here. I'm gonna take this thing off. This is I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that burst panel? You can barely see it. Let me get you in here closer. Hold on. Hold, please. There we go. Okay. This is a burst plate. If I put too much pressure, those springs on these bolts, there's a spring and bolt here. This thing will bang out and hit it. A little pry bar here so I don't damage it. There we go. All right. So this will bang out here and hit this. That way it blows this gasket rather than blowing this gasket out here rather than blowing back up through the blower and hurting the blower. That's race. The other intake has one too, but this one is a big burst panel for a big boost, big application. And now I can stick that right there. Okay, let me get you in here. So, okay, do you guys see this? This is a 3/8 pipe thread. 3/8 pipe thread. That's all the coolant. That's the reason I'm changing this intake. It was 2 3/8 pipe threads coming into a manifold over here is not enough coolant for to keep a street motor cold. It just isn't going to do it. So that's why I changed this intake. I love these old vintage intakes. They're really cool. And this one's probably close to the same age as me, which is, you know, dirt, age of dirt, like Joe Dirte. Let me rock this out here. All right, so I got the intake off. Now I'm going to pull these gaskets off. I put my towel in here and I got my shop vac so I can clean it up. This is the right stuff. This stuff, boy, if you don't want it to leak, and there's not a whole lot on here, it won't leak. There won't be any oil leaks. I still haven't found my funny intake leak. I think it was in, like, I don't know, carburetor or something. I'm not sure. Maybe something up there. Anyway, I'm going to pull these off, clean them up, and I'll get right back with you. All right, she's all clean, but let me hip you guys to some skips here. So if you're going to use a wire brush, okay, here's the deal. Aluminum heads, aluminum intakes, stuff like that, wire wheels are a definite no-no unless you know how to do it, or any of those abrasive disc pads, unless you know how to do it, because you can dig grooves that can cause some problems. If you can keep it light and have done it for years and it's like second nature kind of a thing, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the guys that don't know how to do this. I want to do it for the first time, or, you know, or kind of want to make sure that it looks nice and clean like factory. Well, I mean, what you want is you want it clean. But here's the deal. Wire wheels are made of wire. And Have you ever had these things get shoot off and stick in your clothes or whatever? Or, I mean, they go everywhere. So this is not where you want those to go. So, and you don't want to dig on your aluminum surfaces. You don't want to put any gouges on your surfaces, ever. It's better to use a razor blade and not dig too deep because you can gouge with the razor blades too. But a razor blade works the best, and then just take your time and go slow. You can on the cast iron or the metal or cast iron intake or head. You can use a wire wheel all you want, but aluminum, don't do it. Always plug your intake ports. Always plug the inside of here as best as you can. Just pack it full of rags, whatever you need to, because it's a lot cheaper spending a box of rags or a roll of paper towels or whatever, or even your mom's favorite shirt or dress or dad's or whatever, your own favorite shirt. Take it off your back to save your motor, because that's not cheap. Now there's little pieces of metal that fly off this, and as these get worn down, I mean, those suckers come flying off of there. And you don't want them ending up in here, and because they'll make havoc. And you don't want your silicone or your gasket chunks in your intake, in your water ports, plugging up your water pump. You don't want any of that stuff. So take your time, and always grab a shop vac and go over it once or twice or whatever, 2-3 times, whatever. You want to get everything off the inside. No dust, none of this. And that's why I put a diaper up here, is I didn't want any of this junk down in there. Take your time and do it right. Don't be a hack like me. And don't use a rag when you're using one of these. Let me show you what happens. Let's say I got this thing here, and I'm going around inside here and I'm cleaning. That. It also can happen to your shirt and anything else. So be super careful. Wear your safety glasses. Those aren't necessarily safety glasses. I wear these because I'm old and I can't see up close very good anymore. It was weird. It was like the year I turned 40, I used to be able to look like this. And then 40 was like 6 inches. And then the next year, 6 inches. And the next year, it kept going all the way out to like, I've told you guys this already a bunch of times, but this is a nightmare and I hate doing it. Be real careful, is my point. Be super careful doing this. You don't want to knock any junk inside here. You don't want any of the stuff in your ports. You don't want any of that going on. You want this nice and clean, and you want a nice, clean, polished surface if you can get it. Take your time with a putty knife, razor blade, whatever. I'm going to lay the gaskets on here. Put a nice little bead down here. Lay the gasket, put a little bead, blah, blah, blah. I'll show you what that looks like when I'm ready to set the intake on. See you in a second. 1205. Sometimes gaskets will say this side up. These particular ones do not. But I always like to have this side up. The words, the ports, all that stuff. They look better. Well, it doesn't look better. They just seal better. And you don't need a lot of silicone. You don't need to do anything crazy. It doesn't have to be, because that stuff will come off and get in your oil pump. And nobody needs that. Nobody wants that to happen on their oil pump. Their pickup screen in the oil pump doesn't need to get crazy. So let me set these up here where they go. And I'll lay a nice bead. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Not super big, but not tiny. A good 1/4 inch usually works. It only has to take up the space. Anyway. Stick it down in it like that. There we go. Add a little bit here in the corner. Just a little in the corner right here. All right. Now it's time to grab that intake. Tech tip. Leave a little bit sticking out so you can pull it out later. Okay. This is my port reference for my boost gauge. This is my new pop-off valve, new burst panel. And you see how those are open? Same thing. And this is my thermostat. It's going to go right here. So let's set this bad boy on here. All right. intake's on. Just set it down, match the holes up. I think the video cut off right before that. What I'm doing now is I'm adding a little bit of sealer to each bolt, because you don't want to get, you want this stuff to be like, intake bolts, they go through the head into the lifter valley, and they will pull up all sorts of nasty, greasy, grimy gopher guts. They will absolutely let oil pass, and you don't want that at all. Nobody wants that. Just like doing your head bolts, because they're not blind, they go into a water jacket. You don't want oil down inside. Everybody's seen the intakes on, like, the middle valley, between the middle area between on a small block Chevy. Everybody's seen that. Nobody wants that. Oh, here comes the rain again. Here comes the rain again. What was it? Annie Lennox, I think. That was her song. Or some crap like that. Some crazy person. That does not get to be a regular bolt. That's got to be an Allen right there, I guess. Based on that. Alright, I found a solution. This Allen head bolt will work. And I verified it does not affect the push rod when I put it in, so I'm going to stick this one in there. There is no room. It's barely allowing this thing to fit. So, wow, this is going to be tight. That's right. I think I'm going to order some aluminum studs, intake studs for the blower. All right, I'm going to put all these in by hand, and I'm going to finish her up here. I'm going to order my aluminum studs. They'll be here in a couple days. I'll cover this up, and then we'll do something else tomorrow. I'll figure out something tomorrow. Maybe I'll borrow a welder and start working on the dash or something. But maybe I'll shave the leaf springs and stick them up there, because I found my shackles. I can get bolts and just try and hang it up there and just do as much as I can. Mock it up. That bracket my bracket might actually be here. I'll check the mail. I'll see you guys in a little while. Okay, one last picture for some porn. I mean, why not? It looks pretty good. Blue Moroso valve covers. They're just sitting on there, but the intake is down and tight. I suppose I could set the distributor in. I gotta get plugs for back here. I'm gonna drop the distributor in. Got a gasket on it. That thing didn't feel like it sat down tight all the way. Okay, let's see the differences. Can you see the difference? Thin, thick. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. This is like a piece of paper. I don't really want to have a gasket leak at my distributor, or an oil leak in my distributor. So let's put this nice one on. Set that sucker back down where it was. Alright, here we go. Ready? Let's drop her in. No, missed it. There it is, down. Alright, so number one will be right there. That will work. Alright, that's sealed up. That's sealed up. Let's get our towel on top of here. Sealed up. Alright. Good night, kids. See you later.